Why does it feel like men enjoy sex more than women? Not just want it more, but actually enjoy it more. Because if we're being honest, a lot of women walk away from sexual experiences feeling neutral, disconnected, or even unsatisfied. So, what's really going on here? It isn't about biology being better for men, it's about conditioning, context, how we've been taught to experience pleasure. So let's start with how we're socialized. Boys are often given early permission to explore their bodies. Curiosity is normalized. Desire is expected. But for girls, the messaging is often complicated. Be attractive, but not too sexual. Be desired, but don't desire too much. Be open, but also be careful, guarded, and aware of risk. So what happens over time? Women don't just learn about sex, they learn to monitor themselves within it. So, how do I look right now? Am I doing this right? What does he think? This creates what we call spectatoring, where instead of being in the experience, you're observing yourself from the outside. And that alone can disconnect someone from pleasure. Now, men, on the other hand, are more often socialized toward doing rather than monitoring. So from the beginning, one person is trained to experience and the other is trained to evaluate themselves while experiencing. That's a completely different internal world. Now, what about what actually happens during sex? There's a well-documented phenomenon called the pleasure gap, especially in heterosexual relationships. Men orgasm at significantly higher rates than women. But here's where it gets deeper. It's not just about orgasm. It's about whose pleasure is centered in the sexual script. A lot of sexual encounters follow a predictable pattern. Foreplay, which is brief. Penetration, male orgasm equals end of sex. But for many women, penetration alone is not the most reliable path to pleasure. So what does that mean? It means women are often participating in a sexual experience that isn't actually designed around how their bodies experience pleasure. Over time, this creates the conditioning. Sex becomes something you give. Pleasure becomes something that's nice if it happens. And when your pleasure isn't consistently prioritized, your brain and body start to associate sex with neutrality instead of excitement. Now, this is where it gets even more nuanced. For many women, desire is not just physical, it's contextual. This connects to the idea of responsive desire. Unlike spontaneous desire, which can feel like I'm just in the mood, responsive desire builds after certain conditions are met. Those conditions include emotional safety, feeling desired, not just needed, reduced stress, mental presence. Now think about the average day. If someone is carrying the mental load, thinking about work, home, responsibilities, emotional dynamics, their nervous system may not be in a place where pleasure can even fully register, because pleasure requires a level of relaxation and openness. So if her body is in a low-level state of stress or vigilance, it's not that she can't enjoy sex, it's that her body isn't fully available for it. And when that happens repeatedly, it forces the idea that sex just isn't as enjoyable. But let's talk a little bit about what sex is focused on. Many men are socialized to approach sex as something to do well, last long enough, perform correctly, achieve a goal. Many women, though, on the other hand, experience sex as something to feel into, emotional connection, sensation, presence. So when sex becomes overly goal-oriented, it can pull both people out of the actual experience. Because now it's about, are we doing this right? Is this leading somewhere? Instead of, what am I feeling right now? What feels good in the moment? And for women, especially pressure, whether internal or external, can shut down arousal. Because arousal thrives in curiosity, safety, and presence, not pressure and performance. So the real question isn't, do men enjoy sex more than women? The better question is, what conditions allow someone to fully experience pleasure? Because when women feel safe in their bodies, feel emotionally connected, have their pleasure centered, understand their own desires, their capacity for pleasure is incredibly expansive. In fact, many women report deeper, more layered experiences of pleasure once those conditions are met. So if you ever felt like men enjoy sex more, it's not because they're wired for more pleasure. It's because the environment, expectations, and experiences have often been more aligned with their pleasure. But that can shift. And when it does, sex stops being something that feels one-sided and becomes something that's actually mutually fulfilling. Now, have you ever felt like sex was more enjoyable for your partner than for you? What do you think contributed to that?